Hello everybody and welcome. My name's Jared and thank you very much for making this video a part of your day. Okay, now today we're reviewing Civil War, Captain America, the third installment in the series, and also Avengers 2.5, sort of with all the characters in it. Now I saw this a week ago when it first released in Australia. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's taken me about a week to process it. I've just got back about 2 hours ago from seeing it the second time. The second viewing was, I've got a few notes here, sorry guys. Okay, so one of the notes I put here was the movie was so awesome the first time that a lot of the scenes that I really enjoyed or took note of the first viewing, after I watched those scenes, I'd completely forgotten until my second viewing through. Okay, so just some of the notes I put here. Okay, Crossbones. I really liked what they did with Rumlow from Winter Soldier. I absolutely loved Winter Soldier. So I thought, Crossbones coming back. We knew that was coming when we saw him in the back of the ambulance and on the hospital bed in the end of Winter Soldier. So yeah, I thought he was well used. I thought it was a very strong opening. I love the teamwork, especially the Fastball special with Scarlet Witch and Captain America. That was just phenomenally cool. Alright, I'm rambling a bit here. Okay. I thought the plot worked very well throughout the movie, but I'll touch on that a little bit later on. One thing I did find a bit jarring was the speed. Like, I took a lot of notice of this in my first viewing, and didn't really take as much notice in the second viewing, but actually remembered to write it down as a note. Like, if you, for a lot of you will probably remember that scene in Winter Soldier where they're fighting around the van and Steve Rogers' shield gets lodged in the van, and the Winter Soldier pulls out a knife and there's a bit of a knife fight going on. They speed that scene up like quite a bit, like 2 or 3 times. Like, if you ever watch the commentaries and stuff, they will say sometimes they add 2 or 3 times the film speed to sort of speed it up. So, especially in the opening scene, I noticed a lot of that. But, like I said, second viewing, I didn't really notice as much, and I didn't really care anymore. But, okay. Now, I thought, with the plot, it was very, very well laid out, very cohesive. Just made sense. So, like, your average moviegoer would be able to go in and watch it and be like, alright, I can see... I can understand the motives of these characters and whatnot. And character introductions. I thought that was phenomenal throughout. It didn't feel forced. The need to have, Black Panther on screen, or the need to have Spider-Man or Vision or just any of these characters, they didn't overdo it. They didn't overcrowd a lot of scenes with too many characters. So a lot of the time you've got 2 or 3 heroes in one scene. You do have a few larger scenes where there's a lot more heroes all sort of together and the screen's panning off, like in the airport scene. But all in all, it's just so well done. For a movie with something like 12 or more superheroes, it worked ridiculously well. Okay, airport scene. I'm honestly not going to go, even though this is a spoiler review, I'm not going to really go into that, because that scene speaks for itself. And if you're watching the spoiler review, I'm guessing you've seen the movie, and you know, you don't need to be told how awesome that scene is. Okay, one of the things that kind of pissed me off in the first viewing was how young Aunt May was. Spider-Man's Aunt May. Because I've been reading Spider-Man comics since I was a kid, and and watching, like, I grew up with the 90s animated Spider-Man, so Aunt May was always a very frail, old character, so to see her look so young, that really bugged me. But then, when I actually watched the credits, I saw it was Marissa Tomei, and I'm like, well, she's pretty old, and then I looked up her age, she's like 51. So, I'm gonna let that slide, because if they had a younger actress, sure enough, but Marissa Tomei just looks pretty good for her age in that scene. Okay, and Spidey. Oh my God, Tom Holland. Oh wow, they nailed it with this kid. The age, just everything. Just I can't stress that enough. Spider-Man. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Now, I didn't hate Andrew Garfield. I thought Andrew Garfield was an awesome Spider-Man. I know the movies weren't the greatest, and I like watching them. I love them. Going back and watching them now, I see that the real strong part of those movies is Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, whereas the rest of the movies don't. The rest doesn't really work, in my opinion. But that's an opinion I've sort of grown to have. Okay, Zemo. Now, a lot of people, before I saw this movie a week ago, the people that had seen it, the only complaint they had was Zemo. He's not Baron Zemo, for you that read the comics. But I thought he worked. And honestly, for those critics and reviewers out there saying that you could take him out of the movie and the movie would work completely fine and those characters would find a way. No, it wouldn't. Because you wouldn't have, if you took Baron Zemo out of that, you wouldn't have this Black Panther revenge story arc. Like, there's a lot that would be missing from the movie without Zemo. He was a very necessary part of that movie. And I liked him. I thought he was pretty good. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, guys, because this is getting a bit long. Okay, Tony, I thought the only scene I have any complaint with, and, like, it's not really even a complaint, I just thought it was a bit off for the character, was the sort of girly whinging Tony's doing at the end after he's got his ass beat by the Winter Soldier and Cap, and he's had his suit all destroyed, and he's, like, telling Steve Rogers, leave that, that shield's mine, you don't deserve it, or whatever. I thought that kind of really took me out of it. I'm like, man, you're acting like a little girl. Like, you've just started World War with the Avengers, yet you're like, oh no, that shield's mine. Alright, now, the last note I have on here, guys, is I thought everyone got a decent scene, like, everyone had enough screen time. Like, yes, Ant-Man and Spider-Man are sort of reserved sort of like an introduction scene to the characters quickly, and then, they're in the airport scene, and then that's it. They're not in the movie anymore. But honestly, it's still enjoyable, and if they had any more screen time, it would feel like it was forced or rushed. And for anyone that says, like a little side note is, we took my mum to go see it. She's a big Marvel movie fan as well, just an average movie goer who enjoys Marvel movies. And she said to me, where's Hulk and where's Thor? And I actually have heard this from the general community as well. And the plot explains it well. I think it makes perfect sense for neither of them to be in the movie. But I think Civil War wouldn't work as well, and a lot of those scenes, especially the airport scene, wouldn't work as well with the Hulk and Thor. It just would have made everything a little bit too confusing, whereas it made a lot more sense without those two characters. All in all, I love this movie. I walked out of it the first time thinking it might be my favourite movie, like, of all time. I love Force Awakens a lot, but this is, I'm still gonna have to keep considering it. I'll definitely buy this on Blu-ray. It's a must watch for me. If you're a Marvel fan, I'm sure you've already seen it. if you're on the fence, like honestly, just go see it. And enjoy. Thank you for making this video part of your day. I'm Jared. Please subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.